Oh, Matt G, what's going on, compadre? Sorry, you guys, I'm working with kind of a small laptop here, and so to get this thing set up is sometimes rather inconvenient. Jeff, I don't think anything's being deleted, at least not yet. Give it some time, though. I'm sure they'll hop in. Look, I was saying this earlier. Um, if I get trolls over here on my channel, that's like validation for me. That's like music to my ears. So I hope you guys don't ban any of them. I think it's funny, but I've got kind of an odd sense of humor. So, what's up, Gus Bus? So I'm going to put a link in here to what I think is one of the better budget scan tools out there, and I've kind of researched this a bit. I don't have a scan tool. I just have one of those Wi-Fi Bluetooth dongles that you can plug into an OBD2 port, and then I run Torque Pro on my smartphone. So, there are pluses and minuses to that, but I've kind of been looking at these scanners that'll like read transmission codes and ABS codes, and will clear airbag lights and all this stuff. And what's going on, Cummins? Yeah, Torque Pro, Gus Bus. You use that? Anyway, that Autel scanner that Justin Dow had and that he's sending to Minions, that's a nice scanner, but there's Autel makes I don't know, probably over 10 scanners that look very, very similar to each other. And the link that I put in there for that MD802 Autel scanner, I think that's the most sophisticated of their smaller scanners. If it's not the most sophisticated, then it's one of the most sophisticated. The one uh, that Dow has is like a DIY version. And so the way that it works is when you get the scanner, you essentially have to tell it what vehicle you have, what model of vehicle, and it gives you basically a subscription to that one vehicle. And then if you want to add additional vehicles to that, it charges you $10 each. And so I think the scanner itself is about $110 on Amazon, which is not a bad deal at all. Um, but for basically $100 more, you can get that MD802 and have pretty much all the vehicles, and it does everything the cheaper scanner does and more. And then you don't have to pay uh, for additional vehicles, basically. What do you guys think, Gus Bus? What do you think of Torque Pro and Jeff, if that's what you have? Or if you guys don't want it, Peckerwood Customs. Which scanner is that? I guess I'm basically, we don't have to have a specific subject to talk about, but I'm just kind of this is something that I've thrown out there for months, and that MD802 is one of the best options I've found. But I kind of want to get everyone else's thoughts on that because I think eventually I'll buy one. Yeah, Jeff, that is a good point. It likes for you to dial in what specific vehicle you have, and then it basically saves folders for each vehicle. Nick, what is it you do again? Yeah, GusBus, that's the point right there. I don't think it'll read transmission codes. It doesn't do ABS. It doesn't do SRS. It'll read DTCs, and it'll give you a fair amount of live data. Um, but anything beyond that, it's very very limited. Interesting, Jeff. Yeah, I guess when you only pay, I think for that dongle I paid, I don't know, maybe $10 or $15 on Amazon, and it worked. I had a couple codes on my Camry that I was able to pin down. It was the Bank One Sensor One O2 sensor. It's actually an air fuel sensor because that car's California emissions, so it's uh, the sensor before the cat, and it worked well enough on that I was able to figure out what was going on with it, and actually all my thermostat started. I flushed my uh, did a coolant flush on the car after within a couple months of buying it, and kind of messed up the what's up, Frankie? Kind of messed up the thermostat, so I was getting a code because of that. The car wasn't coming up to temperature, so that $15 Bluetooth Wi-Fi dongle with Torque Pro worked well enough for that. But I guess it's kind of like the most budget of budget options. And I thought, hey, I got way more than what I paid for, so I was happy about that. Now I'm kind of looking for a scanner that would do, um, well, has like some bidirectional capabilities and will do. I need one to do like a yaw rate sensor relearn on a Ford E Series van. So based on what I'm seeing, I'm going to have to buy a scanner that's like $800 or $900. But during that time I looked at that MD802 from Autel and kind of determined that that was one of the better, cheaper scanners. Wow. So Nick, if you don't use the scanner, now I'm not an automotive professional. I just play one on YouTube. That was a joke. Um, if you work at a dealership and you're a VW tech, do they only have like a limited number of diagnosticians that use those scanners? You say you don't have to use one at all. So you're just the one performing work on the vehicle, or what? Yeah, Jeff, the blue driver. I wonder if it's really that much better. Yeah, if you, Jeff, that's exactly right. If it's something you're doing for a living, I mean, you want to have the best thing you can afford. Kind of off topic, but I guess we don't really have to stick to a specific topic. I feel that way about the power tools that I have now. When I worked in construction, I did that up until my early 20s. Um, what's up, Frankie? Um, I always bought the best power tools I could afford, but I haven't worked in construction professionally now for close to 15 years. So I've got some Milwaukee 12-volt cordless stuff, and then I was kind of faced with the decision between the Milwaukee 18-volt stuff and the rigid stuff. And the rigid, they were just running a lot better promo right then, so I bought it, and it's actually really really nice. Cordless tool technology has advanced so much. It's like anymore, it seems like it's hard to get a bad cordless tool if they're purported to be professional. That you can find the odd Black and Decker or something like that that still is uh, pretty underwhelming. But for the most part, most of these tool lines, they've just vastly improved. They've grown by leaps and bounds. So anyway, I have this Gen 5X rigid stuff that I bought, and I've got that half-inch impact that Dow has, and then I've got a quarter-inch impact driver that's like 2,250 inch pounds, and then a compact Gen 5X uh, uh, hammer drill, compact hammer drill. And man, I mean, all this stuff just performs great. And for all three of those, two batteries, the charger, and the bag, I think I paid like $279. And I remember back in the late '90s buying the 18-volt Milwaukee drill, like the first one that they came out with. I think it had like 400 inch-pounds of torque, and that was the best in class. And I think I paid $300 just for the drill and two batteries. Peckerwood Customs, Autel CR129. What do you think of that? Oh, CRP 129. Jeff, I can relate. Good enough tools. Yeah, you make different choices as a professional than you presumably than you would make as a do-it-yourself, or even an advanced do-it-yourself. Or I'm getting to the point where I kind of consider myself in automotive stuff an advanced DIY. Um, but I see these guys with all this Snap-on stuff, and even Matco, which I think is maybe generally speaking priced a little bit more affordably. And I look at it and I think, yeah, it's nice, but I just can't justify it for me. Okay, transmission codes. Oh, it's launch. Okay, yeah, CRP 123. Is that the I forget. I was talking in a chat within the last couple of weeks with Keith DeFazio from New Level Auto. If you guys haven't checked his channel out, it's very, very good, very informative. He's a professional diagnostician. The channel is New Level Auto, and he works in I think the first thing that popped into my head was Rikers Island. That's not it. New York. I'm drawing a blank here. Staten Island. He works in the Staten Island area, and he basically subcontracts himself out to a bunch of different shops there and goes around and does diagnostic work, stuff that they're stumped on, and he gets a lot of problem cars. Anyway, he was talking about how much he liked Launch's new tool. I think it was the one that's maybe runs a little over $1,000, but he said it was just outstanding. See you, Cummins. Thanks for checking in, man. Oh, Nick. Okay, to get back to that, you have 4 diagnostic techs. So how many techs work there total? So 4 of them are diagnosticians. Josh, yeah, a lot of truth to that. As long as the tool does what you need it to do and does not bankrupt you in the process, then it works. It seems like in the professional automotive technician field, there can be some uncertainty, as far as the job security. And I don't know how to say this diplomatically, so I'll just kind of blurt it out. I don't know how these guys have all these weekly truck bill payments. I would not want that hanging over my head. If I had to do that, I think I would buy just about everything on Amazon and just pay cash for everything. I would hate having revolving truck debt. But in that field, I think that's just kind of the way that things are done. Gus Bus, you said Stanton. I'm sorry, I lost our uh, avenue of conversation. What were you referring to? Okay, it does live data too. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's true. Peckerwood Customs, Flat Rate Master. I'm sure all you guys are subscribed to him. He's one of my favorite channels. Um, that's worth it right there if you don't have to physically leave work. I can't imagine wanting to leave work or go after work and go to Sears or going to Home Depot or Lowe's or Napa even and uh, warrantying out tools. That would be kind of a pain. And if they give you that extra level of service, I can see paying the extra price. I just if I dealt with the tool trucks and I did that, I would still probably want to pay cash for everything. Jeff, again, topic change here, but you were asking questions about why stuff was getting deleted on the last two live streams. I don't know. You probably at work now because I know you do shift work, but uh, man, the trolls they've just multiplied. Especially on Jay Young's chat, he had probably 20 or 25 trolls in there. So I don't know if you were watching this on your phone or what the setup was for you watching the chat, but that was why so much of that stuff was getting deleted. Was it was just the trolls were just out in force tonight. It's actually, I'll just say it openly. I was hoping some of them would come over here. It just would make me feel popular if they showed up in my chat. Oh, Staten Island. Yeah, sorry. You're right, Gus Bus. Yeah, Staten Island. Keith. Yeah, Jeff, they get deleted and then undeleted, and people get banned and get unbanned. It's basically because everybody's rushing to ban them. So by the time they hit the ban button, the person may have already been banned and unbanned like several times by then. So you've got, yeah, Nick, right on time, man. Nick, he wants to be the first one to ban everybody. I've seen him, you know, I think his heart's in the right place on that, but unfortunately, like there's innocents getting caught in the crossfire here. What was it the other week? He banned Matthew Placencia. You don't ban Matthew Placencia. Matthew Placencia bans you. Okay, that's like Soviet Russia. Yeah, Scott. It's just that's what it is. Is everybody's so quick to be on the ban button that um, you're only getting partial snippets. How much Peckerwood Customs? How much does that pry bar run you? The reason I ask is so one of the things I do is I buy tools. I buy tools like not necessarily every payday per se, but I have a certain amount budgeted that basically I figure I'm saving that much money by doing my own work on my car, which thankfully has been mostly maintenance. I think what did I do? I had to replace that upstream air fuel sensor, and I had to do the valve cover gasket on it, and basically just did other stuff: brakes, tune up, transmission flush, all that oil changes. That stuff's maintenance. So most of it, what I've done on it is maintenance. But I've saved enough from having this car for a year that I feel like I can afford to, uh, you know, finance some of these tools. I'm not really out any money because I'm doing something I enjoy doing. So that's how I justify buying what I buy. But to get back to what I was going to say, I one of the things I like to do is look for the Sears app. Top Wolf Automotive is going to make a video. He told me tonight in the chat. I sent him something for him to try out, and I don't want to spoil his video. So if you guys go over and watch his video for sure. Um, but I get these really good deals from Sears because I use the Sears app and I shop on there, not necessarily every day, but I'll be looking around and you can get like American made Craftsman stuff and they'll run coupons and just loss leaders and instant savings deals. I got this set of Craftsman pry bars, a 3 pry bar striking cap set, which is made by Wildy. The other Craftsman professional set, I think, is made by Mayhew. But the set that I have, the red handled striking cap variety, is made by Wildy. So I bought the 3 pry bar set, and then I bought separately a 36-inch pry bar from that same set. And I think total I paid, and they're made in the USA, and I think I paid total about $30 for the 4 pry bars. So I wonder. I've never actually been on a tool truck. Um, but I watch these tool truck videos and the prices they have on this stuff. I just think, is it really that much better than my USA made Craftsman pry bars? Hey, what's up, Drews? $30. Wow. Okay. Well, in the middle of my rant, you answered my question. That's actually a lot cheaper than I would have thought. How big a pry bar was it? How long? Jeff, a lot of that stuff that they're posting, that seriously, I was in another chat. Hank Strange is a gun channel on YouTube. He was doing a live chat slash podcast type of a deal tonight, and he hit on something. A lot of the people that post that stuff, it's like kind of a false flag operation. They're doing it to get a rise out of people, but they're also doing it to make specific channels look bad. Like, oh, there's a bunch of racist people in that chat, when in fact, it doesn't have. The chat, of course, has nothing to do with that. Yeah, Nick is handy to have around with that band hammer, but sometimes the band hammer can run amok. Yeah, Jeff, that pry bar set, the Craftsman set, those are nice. Those are super nice. I looked at the prices on the Craftsman Professional set by Mayhew, and I just thought, I already have the Harbor Freight set, and it's not bad. It's like a lot of things at Harbor Freight. When you take price into consideration, you think, man, that's not bad at all. But I wanted the Craftsman set because they are beefier and they do have the striking caps, and there are situations where that's really advantageous. So I love that Craftsman set of pry bars. That's the red handled striking cap set, and that is made by Wildy. It's Wilde. I pronounce that Wildy. Some people just call it Wild, but whatever. USA made. I think they're not far from where Hard Knocks lives there in Kansas, if I'm not mistaken. Matt G, what did you buy for $4? Maybe the Harbor Freight set. Yeah, Josh will do. Good point. Um, I don't want to spoil Topo's video, but the thing I sent him is Craftsman. It's USA made Craftsman, and I think that set is actually made by Lang. I was in Garnett's chat last week, and he looked it up and said, "Yeah, it's made by Lang." And Lang makes like 4 or 5 varieties of that one specific tool. But that was one of the versions they make. Is they don't brand it. I think it just has a Craftsman brand on it. It doesn't even say USA on the tool. It says it on the packaging. It doesn't have the model number on the tool either. So mine, I took it out and put USA, and then I put the model number. I guess just for my own. Mac Titan, how you doing? Uh, just for my own gratification, I kind of engraved that information on the handle. Oh, okay. 24-inch pry bar, Matco, $30. That actually seems pretty reasonable, all things considered. Sorry, I'm losing the track of the conversation. Drew's, what was your last comment in reference to? Yeah, Frankie M, you beat me to the punch. Hey, wow, look at this. The Junior Junkie has made his grand entrance. I tell you what, this chat just got a lot classier. There is your mod status right there. There's your blue wrench, Chuck. Wow, I tell you what, this is like an ego trip for me. Chuck is in my stream. Yeah, Nick, I know you got multiple accounts, buddy. I know Mac Titans you. Chuck, you do need to go to bed. Good grief. You must never sleep. You're at work about 16 hours a day, and you're live streaming for approximately 17 of those 16 hours. And then it's 11:35, and you jump into my chat. So Nick, here's the real question. I don't know what Frankie M's going to ask you, but because we're not coordinating this. But where is your toolbox tour? Oh, sorry, Gus Bus. Chuck is Trim Life, also Auto Pro Interiors. That's Chuck, aka the Junior Junkie. There's a lot of this inside baseball talk here in these live chats, and if you miss one, you miss a lot of information, and you're kind of out of the loop. Oh, did Dow go back on? Well, how long is it going to be live for, Jeff? Is he saying? Is he playing music? Is he drinking? If he's drinking, he's probably going to be on for a while. Chuck, that's pretty wild. You go to bed at 1. See you, Peckerwood Customs. Thanks for coming out, man. Oh, what's up, Bob? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, I guess Frankie M. What question were you going to ask? What question were you going to ask Nick? Trim Life. Get up around 7. Yeah, that isn't too bad. 1 to 7, 6 hours. Yeah, that's not terrible. Yeah, Bob. Bob works about 23 hours a day. That's the problem. You work that much, you don't have any time to sleep. How labor intensive, though, is your job, Bob? So you better around 1:30 and get up at 5. Good grief. You do that consistently? Hey, oh, so you know it. We're doing headshots only tonight, buddy. See, the thing is, I've debated whether or not, like, sitting this me at a desk or whatever, but these live chats are so informal. I'm not gonna, I'm here. I'm laying in my bed. That's all there is to it. That's gonna be my signature move for my live chats. It's me partially propped up on a pillow. Not very labor intensive. Yeah. Well, I worked at construction for years, and there are many days where, I mean, I couldn't help but get 8 hours of sleep at night. I had no problem sleeping when I was doing that. It was only when I moved to less labor intensive, physically intense jobs that I started having more trouble sleeping. But not since I got my knockout from InfoWarsStore.com. Yeah. Oh, so how long is he going to be on though for? Because he was on earlier and he ducked out because the trolls got too intense. I think. Well, that isn't what he didn't come right out and say that, but that was definitely the impression that I got. Oh, so are you just watching cameras all night or what? Josh, I have read studies that there's a certain segment of the population that can get 4 hours of sleep a night consistently and function just fine. But you are in an extreme minority. It was something like 2% of people. It was 2% or less. He's on his PD channel. Uh, oh, his paid channel. Oh, okay, sorry. Slow on the uptake over here. Yeah. All logging vehicles in and out. Okay. Yeah, all right. I got what you're doing. I used to deal with a place where they had guards on duty 24/7 doing that. Chuck, is that a hard and fast rule? Your sleep cycles, 2.5 hour increments, and if so, is that where they come up with 7 or 8 hours? That would be essentially three complete sleep cycles, 7.5 hours. It all has to do with how much REM sleep you get. That's what they say. Rapid eye movement. Hey, you guys hit the like or the dislike button. I don't care which one. Just hit a button. Hit it a couple times. Change it back and forth a little bit. Yeah, 7.5 hours. Well, I'll say this: growing up, my dad consistently got about 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night, but he would just kind of give up. It wasn't like he ever got that restful sleep. And I say this not because I tracked his sleeping habits, but I mean, at 4:30 in the morning, 4:30 or 5 in the morning, every morning, I could just count on hearing my dad get up. So, thanks, Gus Bus. That made me feel good. You knew what I really wanted. Josh LeDuc, that's not what the junior junkie says. You guys are going to have it out over here. REM sleep is 2 hours. It takes an hour to get in, an hour to come out. So that'd be a 4 hour sleep cycle. Oh, it's 1.5 hours. Chuck, you changed your story, man. Come on. I expect better out of you, Chuck. Hey, somebody hit the dislike. Oh, so I know that's you. That's my boy. That's my kid. Oh, so you ever go to Pine State Biscuits? I noticed from looking over here in the feed, I touch my nose and my face a lot. It's because I have allergies. Sorry. Again, this chat's very informal. 2 cycles a night, so 8 hours. Oh, okay. All right. Well, that adds up. Josh, your story is more consistent than Chuck's story. Hey, I got 2 more downvotes. All right, or 1 more, 2 total. Yeah. Oh, so that's just uncalled for. We don't even want to think about that. You never answered my question. You ever go to Pine State Biscuits or no? 5 sleep. Yeah, you guys. I don't know. I think Josh Leduc and Chuck, you guys are going to have to go on the debate station to hash this one out. This looks like a serious debate here. Right, body has no idea what to do. Yeah, Jeff. Oh, the reason Dow's feed is choppy like that is because he's counter programming me, and we all know that I have the power to crash a stream at will. Um, Jeff, so I worked shift work for 3.5 years, basically from '08 to mid 2011, and total time I was on swing shift for about a year and on graveyard for about 2.5 years. And I like graveyard fine and function just fine most of the time, but I could not handle being on swing shift. So, and it took me at least 6 months after I eventually quit that job. It took me 6 months until I felt normal again, working during the day. It was weird. Also, Pine State Biscuits, that's like a Portland staple. They got that one down there on, what is it, about 11th and Division now. They got a couple of locations. The main one's over there on Hawthorne. It's in the Hawthorne district. So, well, I think you know where I'm going with that. But that one down on 11th and Division, they give you the biscuit and they put the chicken on it, the fried chicken, and then they put country gravy over it. I tell you what, you have that, you can die a happy man because you've lived a full life once you've eaten that gimmick. It is good. Oh, Josh, you're in the Air Force. Thanks, buddy. At least that is how we were taught about it when I was in the Air Force. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, the Air Force is not going to lead us astray. Chuck, I still want to see you guys on the debate station. We were supposed to see Bruce and Hard Knocks on the debate station last night, but it fell through. I was texting with Hard Knocks yesterday, and he was telling me they were gonna do it last night, but it never materialized. So eventually, I talked him into doing his own live chat, and that was good. He said I actually inspired him, or well, he didn't use the word inspire, but he said that after he talked me into doing it and he saw I had an easy time of it, then he believed that he could do it. He didn't need to have Bruce there. So whatever works. Oh, so how much sleep do you get a night? You don't go past 82nd. You, you don't you don't go east to 82nd. or I'm sorry, west of 82nd. You stay east of 82nd. Oh, Bob, I had a schedule for a while where I would work 12-hour days, and it was a 2 week rotation. So you would work. I worked 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., and it was 2 on, 2 off, 3 on, 2 off, 2 on, 3 off. So you would work Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then it would repeat Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday. So the only time you started feeling normal, and I think it would have been hard even on day shift, but the only time you felt normal was like the third, is because every other 3 day weekend on, every other 3 day weekend off. So finally, by the third day in your 3 day weekend off, you'd start feeling normal, and then it was time to repeat the cycle anymore. That's a place called in Portland called Siltronic. They do silicon wafers. They supply like Intel and Tektronix and Texas Instruments and all these companies. That was a horrible schedule. Yeah, Jeff, you mentioned that. You said you were hopeful that that would be a better schedule for noons. I thought you said it was like 10 to 6 or something like that, though. You said noons, and then it didn't really. It wasn't like a noon start time. Yeah, Josh, that does sound like a truck driver's meal. That place in Portland. If you ever go to Portland, that place is kind of famous in Portland. Pine State Biscuits. They've got several locations, and they are very, very good. Also, that's the question. I'm throwing the question out there. I kind of think that this scanner right here that I'll put in the chat, I think this is for a scanner that's around $200. This is probably one of the best options. But I have that Bluetooth Wi-Fi dongle, and Jeff Kennedy does too, and we both run Torque Pro, and that's really good for simple stuff, and it'll give you some live data, but it won't do ABS codes and airbags and all that stuff. It won't read, transmission codes, and so there are some limitations. 4 to 10 hours a day. I would think it would be better to get a consistent 6 hours of sleep than it would be to alternate between 4 and 10 hours. Chuck, what link is that? I'm guessing it has something to do with sleep. I can't look it up right now because this Chromebook would probably crash if I tried to hit that link. Oh, 90 minutes in the sleep cycle. Okay. 5 days on, 34 hours off. Bob, but you're basically, I don't want to say what your job is. If you want to say it, you can say it in the chat, but you don't have to be awake that entire time. I get that you're working though. I guess uh, that's my question. 10 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. Yeah, okay, Jeff. I used to work 9:30 p.m. to 6 a.m. when I was on graveyards for the postal service. 2:30 to 11. Okay, so a true swing shift. Yeah, that's not bad. I was on 5 to 1:30 on swing shift for the postal service, and then I was on 6 to 2:30 for the postal service. I hated both of those schedules. It was basically the same thing as working graveyard, except I had to get up earlier because I wouldn't go to sleep any earlier. I still wouldn't be able to go to sleep until 9 in the morning. But Chuck, now let me try to click the link here. I have the feeling I'm going to regret this. A bean tipped Nazi. There's an episode of Seinfeld about that. double dip the chip. Wow, that's interesting, Bob. I wish you'd make a video about your job. What's up, Knox? I tell you what, this stream just got a whole lot classier. If that sounds familiar, Chuck, it's because I say that to everybody. Sorry if you don't feel as special now. Yeah, Jeff, you're absolutely right. Sometimes you just can't fall asleep, and I couldn't on swing shift. I couldn't fall asleep until nine in the morning. What video, Oso? Okay, Chuck. Um, as far as I'm aware, if it's the MD802, the bottom line is it's the MD802, if you know what I'm saying. I'm looking at this. Sorry if the color gets off on this. Yeah, Maxi Diag Elite MD802. The only thing I can think of, the difference between that link and the link that I put up there would be maybe the seller. Because it looks, MD802 is the MD802. The only other difference maybe would be the case that it comes with and the accessories it comes with. The link that I posted, I'm seeing, sorry, my Chromebook is getting a little bit slow doing this. So, Chuck, I'm just looking at the images here. Sorry, you guys. I keep apologizing for the speed of the computer, but the Chromebook is not an ideal. Yeah, it looks like it's the exact same one. The other thing is, I think a couple of them came with um, some of them only came with a bag and fewer accessories, and some came with a hard case. But that one that you're linking in there comes with a hard case as well. So good catch there. They do change the pricing structure though on those. Um, so sometimes you'll check and it'll be a cheaper price, and then you go back the next day and Amazon's changed the price on it. But that's a good catch. I should have looked at that more before I posted the link I posted. But if you guys didn't catch that, the price that I had was like 209, and the one that Chuck found was 159. So yeah, it appears to be the exact same scanner, Chuck. Yeah, Bob, I knew that about your job. You'd elaborated enough to me in chats that I knew that was basically it. But you know how it is. You don't want to overshare too much here on YouTube. Oh, okay. Oh, so you're talking about a Facebook video. Oh, gross. Yeah, don't watch that. That'll make you eat backwards. Oh, so Keepa. Okay, I'll check that out. $350. Wow. Wow, Chuck, now I know how you're affording that extra employee. Or you're buying him his own set of tools to use. Chuck, I'm not trying to get too opinionated here, but I gotta say, I watched Colden's video where he talked about the foam. What made you decide to go with that deeper foam on the box than going with the shallower foam? Because from my perspective, if you go with foam that deep and the tool's sunk that far down in there, doesn't that just make it that much more of a pain to grab the tool out of there? Yeah, Bob, subscribe to the Trim Life channel. I'm subscribed to both of them. I'm pretty well convinced of this that uh, my I've had my channel now for just over 11 years, 61006. Never forget. Um, and I hardly ever make videos, as you guys can tell if you go look. But I think I'm subscribed to more of these channels than anybody else out there. And I hide my subscriptions, but I've got hundreds of subscriptions, and of those hundreds, probably at this point over half of them are automotive channels. So I've got at least a couple hundred automotive subscription channels. That's right, Hard Knocks. Never forget that. Because that's all we got, Hard Knocks. 61006. You know, they don't know the struggle I've been through. I was born a poor Caucasian child. Oh, it's not that stiff. Okay, all right. I just was looking at it and I thought, man, that seems like it's nice for outlining. Oh. So you did it as a passive aggressive move to control what he would be, what he could or what he couldn't put in the toolbox, Chuck. That's pretty funny. $6.50 or $7. Oh, so you know what it is. You know how we roll in Oregon. It's tough out there. That's the mean streets right there. Yeah, my toolbox tools. Oh, Chuck, you cracked me up. Yeah, that's right, though. How much did that? How much did that? It's a service cart, right? How much did that run? I think I've asked you this before. If I have, I'm sorry, but I forgot. I want to say it was like $1,100 or something like that, or $2,000. Yeah, I'm glad, Chuck. I don't know how much feedback you've gotten, but I'm glad you're doing that with the Trim Life channel because I try to watch these videos, and now I'm back up to like 70 videos in my watch later, and I can't keep up if I'm doing these live feeds. I'll be trying to knock these videos out at work and uh, not not while working, obviously, but like during my lunch and stuff like that. And I just feel like I'm getting further and further behind. I'll start feeling guilty. Top Wolf will always come into a chat and say, "Hey, did you check out my newest video?" And I'll think, "Oh man, I don't know. I think that one's in my watch later, so I got to go do it because then I feel kind of guilty that I'm not supporting Top Wolf." It's like this all this YouTube viewing is getting to be like a full time job. So now when I host these chats, which this is my third one, this is actually almost like a vacation from all the watching I normally do. So I like that you're condensing those because you asking me the other day, you're saying, "Hey, I haven't seen you in my live stream." Well, I've ducked in and out of your live stream. I do just about every day, but I can't type in there because I'm usually driving, and so I'll kind of listen and try to hear what's going on, but I just I just don't have that much time. You're like the king of the 26-hour a day live stream. One personal drawer. Well, that's hospitable of you. The other thing is, I'm debating whether or not to do one of these giveaways. I feel like I should just on the principle of it, but I had like 30 subscribers for about 8 or 9 years. So now I've got like 63. I've gained about 33 subs in the last week and a half or 2 weeks. And, I'm trying to, $2,200. Oh, man, it pains me. But, I see where you're coming from. Oh, Bob, that's gross. That's so gross. Possibly accurate. Yeah, Hard Knocks, that is true. On the way home, I can at least do voice to text when I'm in a stoplight and say, "Hey, I'm here." Yeah, trim life. High speed, low drag. That'll be trim life. Okay. All right, Chuck. I don't feel quite as bad, but when you said that to me the other day, I thought, well, I have ducked in there a few times. I'm not able to converse. I see Osa went over to Dowd's live stream. I ain't mad though. Well, so let me ask you this, Chuck. What's your expectation as far as this guy? Has he already started, your employee? And is this somebody who, he's not going to make much money, but he's going to learn a trade, that kind of a thing? And then you eventually will expect him to kind of go out on his own, or what's your expectation there? Well, Bob, I know Chuck's a generous guy. You and I both know, Bob, that Chuck is a generous man. I think even that is a little too generous for him. Yeah, Chuck, It's pretty hard to hurt my feelings, quite honestly. So, uh, no, you didn't say anything. Oh, yeah, I joke around a lot too. Oh, it's a high school kid. Okay. Oh, Knox, classic. Hard Knocks. If Bruce keeps playing hard to get, you're going to need to beam me into one of your live streams, or I'm going to need to beam you in here because that's not difficult to do. It's not difficult to do at all. But then Bruce will probably try to make you jealous by by doing a live chat with Spike Lee as his guest host. So it might backfire on us. I don't know. Yeah, I used my pick set the other day. I can't remember what for, but they came in handy. Yeah, Chuck, that's interesting. Sometimes you just get somebody who's just good regardless of age. A lot of young kids, you watch them work and it's like they're learning how to work, but occasionally you'll happen upon one that's just naturally ambitious, you know? Yeah, Oso, it's because you went over to Dowstream and I knew it and I made your phone act up. You know the power I have. You know the power I have in this brain. That's what homeschooling will do for you right there. We're not very social folk, but we win all the spelling bees, though. So, yeah, Hard Knocks, it's not difficult, man. All it really isn't difficult at all. Basically, if you've got the chat window open from Hangouts, you just invite somebody. You want me to invite you right now? I could do it just to show you how to do it if you want. Oh, that's cool. That's cool, Chuck. Kids that age, there's not very many jobs that they treat you that good. Give you a monthly bonus. That's good. I'm not even sure what that means, Jeff, but I'm kind of grossed out. All right, Hard Knocks, I won't do it now, but I'm telling you, all you do from the Hangouts window, uh, there at the top, you've got the camera icon, the microphone icon. Um, there's an option in there to add somebody or invite somebody into the chat, and that's all you're doing. So you basically are streaming what would be like a regular Google Hangouts conversation. It's the same concept as live streaming a FaceTime conversation. I'll tell you what, I am not for getting upgraded cell phones. I get the cheapest one I can get pretty much every time. Time is it? 10 after 9. So side note, hey, how many of you guys have realized that the word now that everybody uses and they completely misuse is literally, as in Trump is literally Hitler. Anybody notice that? It doesn't bother me that they're calling him Hitler. It bothers me that they always use the word literally. It's all these younger people. Everything is literally this, literally that. I walk around at work, I hear people saying literally constantly, and it's figuratively driving me crazy. Apples and Snap-ons. Yeah, hey, if you can afford it, I'll just stick with Android. I'll stick with Android and Stanley Tools and Gear Wrench. Yeah, Hard Knocks. I don't know because it depends on what kind of encoder you have your live stream set up for. But I just did mine through Google Hangouts because I was familiar with it. And not being able to look at your computer, I'm not sure how it's set up, but you have the camera there, um, the broadcast window essentially, and it gives you all these options in the broadcast window. And one of the options is to add somebody. You can add someone to the chat. So, Jeff, what is that in reference to? Sicker than what? Demi Moore is. Oh, Bob. Oh, man. Bob just takes it to the gutter. I knew I could count on you. Oh, literally. Yeah. Oh, what's up, Ken? Here's your blue wrench. I recognize you. Nice, Ken. Well, so you can't work for 20 hours straight, can you? Yeah, literally. Oh, it didn't really gross me out. Figure of speech, Jeff. I was just uh, playing thin skinned on that. Sorry, guys. I don't know how he does this with 50 or 100 people in here. I can't read comments that fast. Chuck, you basically squashed your beef with Nick, right? I still haven't totally caught up to speed on that. Oh, you're literally going to go to bed? Well, I'm going to literally make you a moderator on that channel, too. Hard Knocks, I'm going to guess that you can. I mean, I wouldn't see why there, just because it's Apple, I wouldn't think that you wouldn't have a Google Hangout. There has to be an app for that one on Apple, I would think. 27 hours in a row. Oh, so how do they get away with that? Oh, not sure about Nick. Well, we'll see. Nick and Jeremiah, they've come into my chat, and I like them okay, but you know how it is. You don't really know anybody. If they start making videos and you start hearing them talk and seeing their face a little bit more, it's easy to get a little bit more comfortable with them. But Nick, with his 200-foot snap-on box and doing 5 dump truck transmissions a day, and this, that, and the other, I'm skeptical. See you, Minions. Minions has never come over here. I think I maybe need to send Minions some more tools or something to bribe him to come into my stream. No, Nick doesn't make videos, Knox. He claims that. That's right, Ken. Later, Minions. And while we're at it, gotta put this in here. Nick claims that he has a toolbox tour video on his friend's channel, but he'll never tell anybody who his friend is. So you told him about that, Bob? What did he say? Yeah. Oh, so I'm pretty sure there's laws against that, but you know what? If it works in your favor, those are the kind of laws you can ignore. You know what I mean? Yeah, Chuck. We always say goodnight to Minions anytime. I get a kick out of Minions. What he'll do in these chats is when he's in there, he'll start warning you that he's going to go to bed, but he'll start warning you like 45 minutes out, like almost as soon as the stream starts, he's warning you that he's going to leave the stream. So anytime anybody says, "Oh, hey, I'm going to go to bed" or whatever, I say "see ya," and then I also say "see ya, Minions," because I figure if he hasn't already warned us he's going to leave, that he's going to start warning me at some point. So I just want to make sure I'm covered. I don't know. I'm kind of a little bit flippant when it comes to other people and their idiosyncrasies. I probably need to have a little bit more grace in that, but I find it humorous to just wish minions farewell all the time. Yeah, I guess overtime has its fringe benefits, also. Chuck, I'm telling you, if you go to Infowars store and get some of that knockout, they were on sale, 2 bottles for like $15 last week. I'm telling you what, even if you only sleep 4 hours a night, that'll give you 4 hours of better sleep. Hey, Top Wolf, what's up, buddy? Is Dow still is Dow still alive, or did he call an audible and go to bed? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think about Nick. I kind of appreciate him. I worked for the Postal Service for 7 years almost, and I learned some valuable lessons there. And one of them is with coworkers and with just people in general. You just got to appreciate people for who they are, because you're not going to change anybody. So you either appreciate them for who they are and deal with them, or get upset and then spend all your time being upset. So I know which choice I prefer. Yeah, Topple, if you made a oh, he's almost done. Oh, hey, I guess I made the right choice by staying on. I don't like counter programming him, but at the same time, I don't know when he's going to be on and when he's not. Bob, what kind of muscle relaxers? Flexeril? Yeah, Jeff. That's the only one I've ever tried. So I don't know if you guys remember the Balco Bay Area Laboratories Cooperative, or whatever it was, but Victor Conti. This is like the Barry Bonds, Lance Armstrong PED stuff. So there's this guy Victor Conti who was essentially the leader, or at least the figurehead of Balco. I think maybe that had something to do with Roger Clemens as well. Anyway, he started a nutrition company after he did his prison time, and it's called Snack Systems, SNAC, and they've got this product that's called ZMA. It's zinc, magnesium, and vitamin B12, I believe. Um, and it's a sleep supplement. It works really well when it works. It's kind of hit and miss. But this knockout from Infowars, that stuff is very, very consistent. That's the difference. ZMA, I might have one time where I would wake up after like 4.5 hours and be ready to bench press about 600 or 700 pounds. I would feel that good. But with knockout, I know that it's going to work every time. So that's a good sleep supplement. I'm getting behind in the chat. Yeah, Flexeril. Oh, I've had that before. Of that stuff, nothing beats Percocet. And everything I took was prescribed, but I had that Percocet a couple different times. And I'd never done drugs in my life, but one time I took 2 Percocets at once, and like I was sitting there, and like 25 minutes later, I thought, okay, I understand how people get addicted to drugs, because I was feeling really good. Yeah, Bob, the comment about going postal. I used to, when I was a letter carrier, I used to get asked that like 30 times a day. And by about the 25th time, when people would go, "Hey, are you going postal today?" I would say, "Well, I wasn't, but I'm working on it now." And like, you get so sick of being asked that. Everybody thinks they're funny too. Yeah, he is on a lot, Jeff. I don't know. I'm basically doing this just to host. I'm not really that interested in it, other than basically continuing the conversation where other people cut it off. If I've got an hour to spare or something and nobody else is going live, I figure, hey, I might as well. Yeah, vitamin B12. Yeah, so that's right. So I ratted him out. I ratted Nick out a couple of weeks ago to Dow, and I don't know if that's really ratting somebody out, especially if you do it publicly. But I publicly said that, and then I sent Dow an email and said, "Listen, this guy is banned." And then I listed off a couple of known people in the community that he'd banned just because they didn't have blue wrenches. And it was after that Dow took away his blue wrench, and then he kept doing it. He eventually gave it back. And then, like a week later, he's back doing the same thing. And I thought it was funny. After a while, I just thought, hey, I give up. I'm not going to get on this guy's case anymore. It's stressing me out. But yeah, he's got Tourette's of the banhammer. Him and Jeremiah. That's the reason I'm kind of on the fence about them having blue wrenches over here on this chat, is because if the trolls come in here, I don't want anybody to ban them. I want to give the trolls a voice. I want to know what they have to say. Yeah, Bob. Hey, Jeff? You ever try Super Male Vitality? I just love it when he does those commercials. Ladies and gentlemen, pure iodine, super male vitality, and then he'll tell you, buy gold. It's my favorite. Yeah, Chuck, I'm glad too. Let me know how that thing works for you. And the thing is, with all these different scanner companies, and speaking of Dow, somebody had sent him a scanner, I don't know, a couple of months ago that he did a review on, and it wasn't as quite as well known a brand as Autel. But like all these scanner companies, I figure like you kind of have to pick a company and just go with it at some point, because there's so many offerings. It's confusing, what does what, and Autel or Innova, or fill in the blank. It's hard to come up with like a comparable scanner comparison, because every company offers so many scanners. But that is one that seems to get universally high marks. It has a lot of capabilities for relatively cheap prices at Autel MD 802. Plus, it's got MD in it, so it's good. Yeah, Hard Knocks. I don't know what it is, if it's B12 or B6, but you can get shots of that. That's considered PEDs in a lot of sports. Ken, they make you want to clean your house. That's funny. Yeah. Also, I ask him now just about every time I see him in a chat where his toolbox tour is. Super male vitality is a PED, evidently. Wow. Since those Supplements are unregulated. You know there's a bunch of extra stuff in them that they're not telling you about. Probably got all kinds of lisinopril and beta blockers and all kinds of Cialis and whatnot. Yeah, Bob, right on. You're exactly right. If you had a toolbox that nice, it seems like you would want to post a video about it. Chuck, it says that it'll do those airbag lights. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's always going to be those trouble cars that it's not going to work on, but within reason, and especially the one like the one you found, $159. What are you wasting, really? You know, Top Wolf. What exactly are you going to be doing at your shop? That's also that's because the 27-inch Black Harbor Freight box in Gresham. If anybody around there knew you'd have it, they'd covet it and they'd come steal it. You know I'm right. I know how they roll in Fairview. Now, Bob, I've seen the pictures of your $50 Snap-on box. It's nice. Yeah, Chuck, you said Nick sounded like he was kind of had a Mickey Mouse thing going. Your Himby root. Yeah, your Himby root, aka Speed. You know Alex is putting some methamphetamine in there. Oh, Wood Village. Hey, my bad. My bad. I don't want to step on any toes. You may be in Wood Village, but you know you're all about that Delta Park life, also. Chuck, that's funny. Uh, he could do voiceovers for Mickey Mouse cartoons. Nick, if you're in here, don't be offended. We only roast the ones we love. I don't know, Hard Knocks. I wouldn't take any of that stuff from what Jeff's saying. That could be hazardous to your health and hazardous to your wife's health as well. Yeah, Bob, that's cool, Top Wolf. Are you going to try to do that full time, or are you just doing that as a side hustle? I've thought about doing that, but where I'm living right now, I don't really have the capacity for that. I'm hoping by the end of next year I'll be able to buy a house, and if I do, I might try to find something more out in the country, something with a detached garage, because I'd like to be able to do more stuff like that. Yeah. Also, isn't that Dignity Village up there? Dignity Village Generation Four or whatever. Oh man, Chuck. Uh, uh, remember my speech earlier about appreciating people for who they are? You just gotta appreciate them for who they are, especially if they're total degenerates. Jeff, if he's actually 14, is he just a pathological liar or what? Oh, hey, I got Bob. I got some gear wrench stuff ordered. I got that 57 piece 3/8 set and the 51 piece quarter inch set. They were running a deal on those for, oh, I think I paid like 117 shipped. I felt pretty good about that. I haven't gotten them yet. And Topple, you're just doing that out of your garage there, or are you guys getting another place, or what? That's right. Oh, so stand up for him. I'm so lost in this conversation trying to piece together what you guys are saying about Nick, but I think one of you guys just needs to actually make a video about it. And I think it should be Jeff. Also, chime in on this. Jeff has got some serious smack talk. He's bringing the middle-aged smack talk heat. He was brutal. He was savage the other night. I forget which live stream what it was. It was 2 or 3 nights ago. Me and Oso were just like sitting there in awe. Like for about 25 minutes, Jeff Kennedy was just he was the Yoda of smack talk, live stream smack talk. Oh, that's cool. That's cool, Top Wolf. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad. I'm sure you're going to be shooting more and more videos when you guys do that. Chuck, Chuck, you got to title the stream that because I'll be sure as soon as I've got the bell notification on all your stuff. You need to title the stream that so when I look down and I'm driving and I see the title of the email that I get for the title of your stream that I'll know to tune in immediately. What's up, Peter? Well, also, I forget who it was he was going in on, but Jeff was just like, I was just shocked at the level of venom he was bringing. It was great, just fantastic. Yo, sick. What's happening, buddy? I don't know if it was your live stream or what. No, it wasn't your live stream. It was in the chat. Maybe it was 2 nights ago. I forget exactly when it was. We were sitting there like you were going off. It probably was you. You were probably going off about Nick. Oh, the screwdrivers. Bob, is that just like the whatever the red or orange set Tony the technician has, but they're green? Is that the same one? Oh, also, it was legendary. It really was. I started waving the white flag for whoever the person was probably Nick. I was like waving the white flag for him. Jeff just went off. There was some serious super male vitality happening right there in that chat box. Yeah, Chuck, I'm super interested in that. When you find that, post the link for sure. That's what it is. That's what it is, Jeff. Working around union workers, I did that with the postal service for 3.5 years, basically like a postal longshoreman. and you have to step your game up. It's dog eat dog out there. Peter, what's happening, buddy? There's enough of a delay that if I say what's up back to you guys every time you say what's up, we're just going to get caught up in an endless cycle of what's ups. Maybe that's the goal. I don't know. Bob, okay, the 8-piece. Where'd you get it, Bob? Amazon? I want to go check those out. I'm not really fixated on the green. Actually, having said that, I've got the fluorescent green 8-piece Carlisle set that I really like. Oh, sick with it. We're having a discussion. It'd take me too long to explain, quite honestly. We were talking about we're having a flashback to like a day or two ago. We're in a live stream, a live chat. Jeff just unloaded on somebody for like a solid 12 to 15 minutes. See you, Josh. Thanks for stopping in, man. Yeah, Jeff is just, oh man, there's an underlying saltiness there that it reared its head, and I just sitting there in awe. I couldn't even type. I thought, wow, I feel like I just need to go sit at Jeff's feet for a while and just learn. You know, the smack talk was that good. Gear wrench metric line wrenches, those ratcheting ones, Bob, or just the straight up ones that come in that blow mold open top case. Cummins, here's the thing. I'm on the West Coast, so it's only 9:40 my time. Yeah, Bob, what kind of a deal did the crack dealer give you on those? Also, oh man, homemade lasagna. Did she put sausage in it? Yeah, Bob, I'm out. I'm not spending $100 on no wrenches, even if they are Blue Point. That is a good deal, though. Jeff, that wasn't it. That was good though too. If I could figure out a way to record the chat box, I would make a video of Jeff Kennedy's greatest hits. I bet that video would do 1 million views. Oh, I could just see it now. The legend would grow. Oh wow. Yeah, see you, minions. $70 for both wrenches and screwing drivers. Yeah, I am on downtime. Did he cut off? Did he end his stream? We just got an influx of like 3 people, so I'm thinking he probably ended his stream. Oh man. Oh, this is going to turn into a slaughter. Look, I can't fault somebody for trying. Like I said the other night, a couple nights ago, whenever the last one I did, where Jeff was saying, I mean, I didn't really see that going well for him either, but there's only one way to find out for sure. Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, I can relate. I'll just put it that way. Oh, sick with it. You weren't just speaking facetiously there. You are actually being literal. You literally told people that, or you literally typed that. Well, I kind of wondered if maybe that would be the case, but again, I feel like staying more diplomatic here's the thing. Hard Knocks, you know what it is. Uh, you guys are all part of the 61006 Nation. When I see somebody who uploads videos and makes like a real effort, I'm very hesitant to be critical of them. So when somebody says, "Well, I'm just trying something new," or "I'm trying to turn a negative into a positive," I think, okay, I can go along with this. But at the same time, I mean, I don't even pay. I like UFC Fight Pass every once in a while, but I don't consistently pay $10 a month for that, and I really like that. But I only have that maybe 4 or 5 months out of the year, and then I go without for a while. It's just kind of the principle of the thing. If you got something for free for such a long time, it's hard to adjust paying for it. But if he's doing that to try to raise money for the TOT program, I think, well, that's a pretty noble cause. So again, I think he's just trying to turn a negative into a positive. He made a mistake and hit some wrong buttons or something, and he's trying to correct it. So good for him. Yeah, that's right, Oso. Never forget, because that's all we've got. See, that's the thing. 61006. It's not just numbers in the chat box with slashes in between them. This is a movement. This 61006 thing, it's not going away. And you can never forget that because that is all we have, the 61006. Okay, Jeff, you just triggered my memory there. Yeah, I do remember that. Sick, you did say that. At Hard Knocks, I don't really know what that would look like, a TOT channel. Um, and I guess we're far enough into this that I doubt anybody's going to rewatch it and look for this part. Maybe we have some lurkers or whatever, but the whole thing kind of makes me nervous because, legally speaking, if you're starting a foundation or a nonprofit, I mean, there are certain laws that come into play there. If you solicit donations for a nonprofit, you can't really use that kind of a terminology. You run the risk of being on the line there legally when you get into people donating money and stuff like that. I don't think that anybody's going to try to, you know, nail anybody for that. And I don't think they should. I think everybody involved has got really great intentions, but it does make me nervous. I know that Dow was saying that he talked to Jay Young about it and they'd looked into it. And I told him one of the times in the chat that, you need to start a 501c3 nonprofit, and that is doable, but it does cost money. And he asked, and I had looked up how much it would cost, and basically it was like probably $1,300 or $1,400 to start up a 501c3 nonprofit, and there are forms to be filled out and filings to be done and so on and so forth, and then you have to keep up the paperwork on that on a consistent basis. So it's a lot of work, but if you can kind of keep it an informal thing, uh, it's not great for clarity, and not great for what's the word I'm looking for? It's not great for full disclosure purposes. I guess that's how I could term it. But as far as the legal aspects of it, you're on a lot more solid footing if you've actually got something down on paper. Otherwise, you can kind of be exposed to some bad liability issues. Yeah, Sick, do you actually know that, though? That's the thing. I mean, we could speculate till we're blue in the face, but that's kind of a slippery slope as well. Yeah, Ken, I think that too. I don't think any of us are questioning his intentions, good intentions, or questioning his veracity. But that was one thing that came up, and I think Jeff brought it up when we talked about this before. You have to have you get into an area there where things can go south in a hurry. And actually, it was Eddie who said something about it. I was in Eddie's live chat a couple nights ago, and he was talking about it. And he wasn't making any accusations, but he's, when there's money involved and it comes under scrutiny, you have to have your ducks in a row. When people give money and they expect things, it's, you know, anyway, I think I've said about all I could say about it. Good night, Bob. See you, minions. Yeah, Jeff, you're right. Your last comment's right. What's the term I'm looking for? Transparency. In the interest of transparency, it's better to have everything official, I think. If it's something that's going to be a long term project, yeah, it is. It isn't cheap to go through it, and it's even like going through LegalZoom, which is has a reputation for making things pretty simple for you as far as filings are concerned. But in the interest of transparency, it's better to do it that way. Yeah, sick with it. I don't know. Conventional wisdom is if you had 1 million subscribers and the rate of them watching, this is kind of a misnomer about YouTube because I've seen these channels come and go. I've had a YouTube now for just over 11 years, a channel, and there's people that have massive subscriber numbers, but they don't have the engagement. They don't have the viewership. And then there's other channels who have relatively low subscriber numbers, but they consistently get more views and they keep their viewers for a longer amount of time. And as far as ad revenue is concerned, I know which one I would want to be if I was trying to make money about it. It's about views and longevity of views. So, conventional wisdom would say if you've got 1 million subs, you could probably make a pretty good living at this, but it's not always the case. Yeah, Knox, you're right. He does. He does overwhelmingly good stuff. But then you see situations like the Brady deal where it still rubs me the wrong way. But even that, you know, raising money for that, that's why I didn't donate money to the chat. I went right over to the GoFundMe and donated directly because I thought, well, why would you funnel money through someone else and Google's going to take a cut of that, YouTube's going to take a cut of that, or whoever's going to take a cut of that? Why wouldn't you just donate it, especially if the person already has it set up, just donate it directly to the source? I thought that was one of the things Bruce, to my recollection, got right. He wasn't soliciting any money for it directly. He was saying, go over there and donate. But, you know what they say about good intentions. Sometimes stuff like that can come back to burn you. And, I think pretty highly of Dow and I think his intentions are golden. I hate to see him, you know, as far as liability goes, I hate to see him have that kind of exposure to liability. That could that could go wrong. And I would not want to see that. Yeah, good point, Sick. Sick, what do you do? Are you an automotive technician, a mechanic, or are you just a DIY parts changer like me? Yeah, just sidebar here. I'm always really hesitant to donate money to things. I would way rather do like I did with Carlos and send him something I had. And just anytime you give money, you're not really sure where it's going to end up, you know. So I gave Carlos some stuff, or well, just that set of line wrenches directly, and I sent Minions some wrenches directly. That's the kind of thing I'm really up for. Oh, what? You Sick? Do you are you independent? You work for a dealership, or what do you do? Chuck, keep looking and put it in the notes of one of your live streams tomorrow or something. I'll get a hold of you one way or the other. We'll figure it out because that's very interesting. I didn't know that. I think I'd heard Jeff make reference to that before, but I wasn't really sure what exactly he was making reference to. And now hearing more about it makes me more interested. I think I'm going to cut this off at 10 my time, which is another 6 minutes. I think that's late enough. I don't mean to give you too much advance warning. Oh wow, okay. Indie shop, machinist, custom motor swaps, etc. That's kind of the same thing that Colden's does, I think. Hard Knocks, true story. I was pulling through a McDonald's, which is very close to my house, a couple of years ago. And I saw a homeless guy standing there, and so I ordered a couple of cheeseburgers. And when I rolled by him, I handed him the bag, and he asked, "What is it?" And I said, "It's three cheeseburgers." And he said, "I'm diabetic. I can't eat it." So I pulled the bag back and drove off. I thought, well, I'm not going to give you money, man, because I will tell you, the homeless people around here in Seattle's a very wealthy town overall, and the job market is good here. If you want a job, you're going to have a job, and you can. It's all you could do to help but get a job. It's like that tough not to have a job, uh, and so I just have a flat policy. I'm not going to give, no matter how pitiful I think somebody looks, I am not going to give them money. But I was going to give that guy those McDonald's cheeseburgers. I thought the only thing that could have been worse than that was him saying he was diabetic and refusing the cheeseburgers as if he told me, "Oh, I'm a Burger King fan," or something like that. If he had said that to me, I probably would have given him money because he would have made me laugh. And then I wouldn't have been giving him money. I would have just been paying him for his humor. So he would have earned the money. Yeah, ask Jason, Chuck. Ask Jay Young. See you, minions. And while we're at it, while we're wishing minions good night, there's one other thing I like to do. Goes along with that. It's that right there. Because again, it's the 61006 nation, and that's all we've got. I can't emphasize that enough. 61006, the birth of MD Lee 52 YouTube channel. Yeah, Jeff, all the homeless people around here, there are people that live out there 24/7. They got tents and they set up shop. And look, Seattle's a good place to be a homeless person. You can get all the drugs you want. You can get all the money you want from people who have guilt. and are willing to just give you $5 to leave them alone at the stoplight. And you can live outside, and it's a socialist city, and they basically let you do anything you want if you're homeless. So if you ever feel like being homeless, move to Seattle. They'll still support you. Yeah, Hard Knocks. You're absolutely right. I see these facilities that I go to, especially downtown Seattle. I see the same people every day, and they are raking it in on these corners. There's this one gal. She's got this gimmick. She's actually not out of downtown. I've seen her like Woodinville, Bothell, South Everett, that area. But it's the same gal every time, and she's got a stroller. So she's playing the "I've got a baby" gimmick, and there's no baby in the stroller, but she is just raking in the cash. And the one place where she is up on 164th there, she keeps her car parked about a block and a half away from where she sets up shop. And I've watched her then take her stroller back and fold it up, put it in the trunk of the car, and drive off. It's like a Honda Accord, nicer car than I've got. She is making money hand over fist. Yeah, sick. I wouldn't be surprised if the homeless people make more money there than mechanics do. Literally, he's literally his dad. Chuck, 61006 is the date that I started my MD Lee 52 YouTube channel. Never forget that, because that's all we've got, Chuck. If the zombie apocalypse happens, what do we have? All we have left at that point is 61006. Hard Knocks, you should go into it. Homelessness in Seattle is 61006 was an inside job. Oh boy, Jeff, bringing the heat. Whew, that touched me right down deep. Actually, with my most recent InfoWars order, I got a 911 was an inside job. Two 911 was an inside job bumper stickers. See you, Cummins. Good night, minions. Yeah, that's true, Chuck. She probably does. She probably puts all those 5s, 10s, and 20s that people are forking over, and that's what she has in that stroller. It is in the documents. Alex has the documents. I have like a flow chart for whether or not whatever his reports are, because people are talking conspiracy theories. Hey, it's in a different category if it's true. It's a true conspiracy theory. And I'll just say this. Alex, if he makes a report, the first question I always ask myself is, does Alex have the documents? And if he has the documents, I think, hey, it's true. End of story. See you, Chuck. Good night, minions. Yeah, Ken. There, it's like it's hard. I don't even want to go there. If you live on the West Coast, there's so much white guilt out here that it's like you have to take care of everybody who wants you to take care of them. And specifically, I reference homeless people because the West Coast is a good place to be homeless. If you live in LA, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle, you can make a very good living being homeless. Alex, does he always have the documents though, Jeff? Because sometimes when he's doing the live feed, he will hold up the documents or they'll have an overhead camera shot of the documents. And sometimes you can read the title of the documents. That's when I really believe it. If I can see that, if I can see a shot of the documents, that's when I actually believe it. Hard Knocks, is that true? Do you have the documents on that? They moved buses of homeless to Cali from Colorado. Now I have to start asking you, Hard Knocks, if you have the documents. When all this stuff is over, I mean, what are we going to have? What are we going to have left? 61006. Never forget. I know that they were setting it. Does this have to do with the FEMA camps? They ordered like whatever 2 million coffins or whatever. Oh, they bust them out for Super Bowls. That is spectacular. They did it to get them out of there. Or did they get it to take them to the Super Bowl? Now that would be really interesting. All right, it's 10:03. Hey, you guys, I'm going to end this. I don't know when I'll do another one. Quite honestly, it doesn't matter when I do another one. Because even if you miss it next time, you're not missing much. It's like one of our real estate agents used to tell us when we built houses, the advice is free, and most of the time it's worth what you pay for it. But it was a good chat. Thank you guys for showing up. I'll leave you with a quote. Win if you can, lose if you must, but no matter what, always cheat. 61006. Never forget.